there's no school of ancient wisdom that you need to go to be initiated. Your life is your initiation if you're paying attention. So we meet challenges in our life from a certain level of mind, right? A certain level of consciousness or unconsciousness. And even Einstein said we have to go to a greater level of consciousness than the consciousness that's created the problem. Well, what is consciousness? Consciousness is awareness. And awareness means possibilities that you haven't thought of before. So we confront problems or challenges in our life. And as a side note, I was having breakfast with a researcher just last week who's studying what happens when we perceive a condition in our environment as a problem, how it weakens the organism. They're measuring this. And when a person sees it as a challenge, how they draw energy, they raise the energy of their body back into order. So if we said, I want to be wealthy or I want to be healthy, well, what you want to be that because you're not it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the initiation of going from not it here to it here, you're going to have to climb some steps. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be some blind spots. So you try it out and it doesn't work. Well, that's because there's a part of you that's still in a habit. There's part of you that's still unconscious. Okay, so what is it about myself in that circumstance that I am feeling about that circumstance, and that feeling is causing me to think about it? So you say, oh, it's impossible. They'll never change. I'll hire a hitman. I'll hire the mafia. I'll hire an attorney. I'll have my friend's friend to talk to him, and nothing changes, right? Well, you're not separate from that experience. You're involved in it, and how you think and how you feel broadcasts energy into the field. So your energy is the same every day. And as long as your energy is the same, nothing's going to change in your life either. And nobody changes until they change their energy. So then, what piece of knowledge, what piece of information, what would love do? What would greatness look like? Okay, I don't know. All right, well, certainly somebody in history has faced this problem. Don't get on Facebook and say, does anybody have any answers? Go look it up and study and read and learn. You'll own it. And you'll say, wow, that person that was wealthy, they failed 500 times. Yeah. Well, hell, I had the wrong view of wealth.
A human being isn't made to suffer. 99% of suffering is mental, psychological suffering. And unlike other creatures, a human being is able to control its mental state. It's pretty amazing how having a positive and focused mindset can make a big difference in shaping your future. Imagine your future goals as a blank canvas where you can practice being the person you want to become. If you genuinely feel grateful or confident even before achieving your goals, it can bring about a powerful transformation. It's like setting the wheels in motion for success by experiencing those positive emotions in advance. Some people wait for things to change externally before feeling happy inside. This habit can keep them feeling unfulfilled and separated from what they want. The key is to feel the positive emotions first, not as a reaction to something happening, but as the cause that kickstarts positive events. When your heart and brain are in sync, it's like having a personal Wi-Fi signal that broadcasts your positive thoughts and emotions. Our emotions are influenced by our experiences, and science tells us that our environment affects our genes. So when you intentionally generate positive emotions in your heart that align with your future goals, you're basically sending signals to your genes ahead of time. This affects your behavior and helps you become the person you want to be. Keeping this positive and focused state of mind is crucial. In fact, our research, along with collaborations with the HeartMath Institute, shows that even beginners in meditation can experience significant changes at a molecular level after just a week of training. This suggests that their bodies are transforming into a different state, driven by the power of their positive and synchronized heart and brain. So, what is heart coherence, you might be wondering? Well, it's basically about getting your heart rate and breath to work together smoothly. When we're scared or stressed, our heart races and we breathe quickly, putting our brain on high alert. Many of us spend a lot of time worrying about the worst things that could happen, which leads to constant stress and holding our breath. What we've discovered is that slowing down your breathing can actually slow down your brain waves. This helps shift your body from survival mode to a calm and ready state for creativity. Think of it like having a big drum, but being too tense to hit it properly. Learning to go from fight or flight mode to relaxation allows your heart to open up. When you focus on your heart, it sends out a powerful and calm energy that tells your brain it's okay to think about new possibilities. With each steady beat of your calm heart, it creates a soothing sound that carries information, like the ripples on the surface of water. The more steady this rhythm, the better it can share information. Now let's talk about the second rule, being aware of your unconscious self. In my own spiritual routine, I start each day by asking myself, what's the best version of me that I can be today? This lines up with scientific research that says it's important to be conscious of our thoughts, habits, and feelings that happen automatically. It's a journey of discovering ourselves and growing consciously, which has the power to change every part of our lives. In my daily routine, I've realized something profound. Just by observing the parts of ourselves we want to change, we show that we're not completely tied to our old selves. We start stepping into a state of pure awareness, watching the leftover bits of who we used to be. So what's my process? It's simple but incredibly powerful. I make a conscious effort to notice who I don't want to be anymore. Research suggests that by the time we're 35, a huge 95% of who we are is made up of habits, attitudes, beliefs, perceptions, and reactions that work automatically in our minds. Our minds often run on autopilot, making us unaware of what's happening around us for most of the day. The challenge is to break the cycle of repeating the same choices every day. Making real change involves unlearning old habits and learning new ones, like cutting away dead branches and growing new connections in our brains. During my morning meditation, my first job is to pay close attention to the automatic thoughts and feelings I might have. I might be judging others without even realizing it, or carrying around guilt that's deep-rooted in my mind. By shining a light on these hidden thoughts and feelings, I can make them conscious and take control of them during the day. The more I become aware of these hidden thoughts, the more control I have over them. Many people start the day wanting to be positive, but old habits of negative thinking, acting, or feeling can be deeply ingrained. So I take a moment to acknowledge the things I no longer want to be and focus on imagining the person I want to become. By thinking about and practicing these new behaviors, I'm creating new pathways in my brain. This helps my brain get used to these behaviors as if they've already happened. Plus, if I can feel the emotions linked to this new ideal self, I'm giving my body a taste of the future on an emotional level. Research shows that this mental practice not only changes the brain, but also affects the body. Our state of being, which is a combination of thought and emotion, is what the quantum field responds to. So my goal is to come out of meditation with a different mindset and body. But it doesn't end there. I have to keep this new state going throughout the day, even when faced with challenges or emotions from my surroundings. When I can keep up this change for a good amount of time, something amazing usually happens in my life, often in unexpected ways. It's like a universal law, and it's this powerful transformation that motivates me to stick to my daily practice. Personally, I start my day by asking, what's the best version of myself? I don't finish meditating until I truly feel like that person. The time it takes varies, as it's a journey happening in the present moment. Some days I get there quickly, while other days might take longer. It's not about the time, it's about being fully present and experiencing a significant shift in my state of being. On days when my mind is filled with thoughts about future plans and past reflections, it can take me 45 minutes to an hour to bring my scattered thoughts and restless body back to the present. But my friends, this is the real work. I've learned that if I consistently bring my mind back to the present, instead of thinking too much about the future or the past, it's really beneficial. Those times when I focus and bring my attention back from distractions are the most rewarding. So, I set aside 2 hours in the morning, not because it always takes that long, but it gives me a good amount of time to relax and let go of the constant feeling of being rushed. It's my way of making sure I have enough time to connect with my true self. Now let's talk about the third rule, being intentional. People often struggle with understanding what intention really means. Let me make it simpler for you. Intention is about being really clear about what you want. Sounds easy, right? But here's the tricky part. When stress kicks in, we start making a long list of conditions and requirements in our minds. We think, I want this, but only if that happens, and I can't afford to impact this person or lose that thing. This isn't intention, it's trying to control every part of life. Real intention is more straightforward. It's about saying, I want this specific thing without being too attached to keeping everything else exactly as it is. When you ask open-ended questions like, what would it be like to have this? Or, what if I were in this situation? You engage your creative brain. This part of your brain looks at all your knowledge and experiences, putting them together into a new vision. Intention can show up as a picture, a symbol, or a clear mental image. For instance, you might picture a peaceful retreat center. This image includes all the conditions and details you want. As this mental image forms, you start experiencing your dream in your mind. Surprisingly, your brain can't tell the difference between this vivid mental experience and real-life events. It's like rewiring yourself for the future. But it doesn't end there. Once you've set your intention, the real magic happens when you add emotion to it. Why? Because your body is like a subconscious mind, and it responds to the feelings that come from your thoughts. So, when you pair your intention with emotion, your body thinks you're living that future right now. Your cells adapt and get ready for the event you're picturing. It's like changing your body's story, moving from a record of the past to a map of the future. This powerful mix of intention and emotion sets the stage for big changes, both inside yourself and in your external reality. As we go through this amazing journey of self-discovery and growth, remember that we have the natural ability to shape our lives, destinies, and who we are. We can rewrite our stories, reprogram our minds, and live in line with our biggest dreams. So, enjoy the beauty of this process, appreciating the change that happens when we become the creators of our own destiny. So here's the deal. You're free to choose how you see yourself. And that's not just a casual thing. It's a game changer. This power is like an intervention power, giving you the ability to shake things up and steer your future in the direction you want. Now imagine this. Your current concept of yourself is like a starting point. It's where you're at right now. But the real magic happens when you decide to level up, to rise from this present concept to a higher one. That, my friend, is the key to genuine progress. Picture it as a journey within yourself. You're on this path of self-discovery and growth, moving from your current self-concept to a higher, more evolved version of yourself. And guess what? That higher concept is just hanging out, waiting for you to bring it to life in the real world. So, in a nutshell, you're not stuck with who you think you are right now. You have the power to transform, to become a better, more awesome version of yourself. It's like you're the hero of your own story. and the script is in your hands. Your imagination is your superpower, and the key is to control it, not in a restrictive way, but in a way that empowers you. Now, combine that with a laser-like focus, a sustained attention that's unwavering and solid. Here's where it gets juicy. Take your wildest dreams, your biggest wishes, and cook them up in the cauldron of your imagination. Stir it with a well-sustained attention, like you're painting the most vivid picture in your mind. But here's the magic sauce. It's not just about seeing it, it's about feeling it. Make that wish so real, so tangible, that it fills up your mind, elbowing out any other stray thoughts. It's like you're creating this mental masterpiece, and the secret sauce is in the feeling. Imagine your wish fulfilled, not as a distant dream, but as something that's happening right now. Feel the emotions, soak it all in, until it becomes the dominant force in your consciousness. It's about becoming one with that desired outcome. It's not wishful thinking. It's a deep, immersive experience. And when you've got that controlled imagination and an attention that's unwavering, you're onto something big. There are two ways of knowing something. One is the mental way, where you observe, analyze, and compare things from the outside. It's like looking at something and breaking it down, defining it with your thoughts and logic. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The second way is the spiritual knowing, and it's a whole different ballgame. Joe's saying that to truly understand something on a spiritual level, you've got to do more than just observe or analyze. You've got to become it. Yep, you heard that right. Become the thing itself. It's not about talking or thinking about it. It's about immersing yourself in the experience, merging with the essence of that thing. It's like if you want to know the taste of an apple, you don't just talk about it or analyze its components. You take a juicy bite and savor the flavor. So whether it's an idea, a feeling, or a concept, the real knowing happens when you step into its shoes, so to speak. You've got to be in it, feel it, and let it become a part of you. It's a whole new level of understanding that goes beyond words and thoughts. It's a deep, experiential knowing. It's about embodying the knowledge, not just collecting it in your mind. So if you want to truly get something, spiritually speaking, you've got to roll up your sleeves, jump in, and be one with it. So picture the world as this grand stage, moving and grooving with a motiveless necessity. What does that mean? Well, it's like saying the world doesn't have its own agenda. It's not out there with its own motives. Instead, it's kind of like this cosmic mirror reflecting what's going on inside your mind. Now, the world isn't randomly throwing stuff at you. It's more like a responsive canvas, reflecting the vibes you're putting out. The world is under the necessity of showing what's going on in your mind, and your mind, my friend, is like the master painter. Your mind is this incredible artist, arranging things in the image of what you truly believe and consent to as true. It's like your beliefs are the brushes and your thoughts are the strokes that shape the canvas of your reality. So, if you're vibing with positivity, belief in abundance and all that good stuff, guess what the world reflects back? Yep, you got it. Positive, abundant vibes. But if your mental canvas is filled with doubts, fears, and negativity, well, that's the image that gets painted on the world stage. It's a powerful reminder that you're not just a passive player, you're the co-creator of your reality. So we could imagine life as this grand theatre production. The plot, the characters, the twists and turns, all of it is scripted by your assumptions. Every condition, circumstance, and event is like a scene brought to life by the beliefs and expectations you hold. You're not just a passive audience member, you're either a slave to these assumptions or their master. It's like you're holding the director's hat, and your assumptions are the actors following your lead. To be the master of your assumptions, that's the golden ticket. By taking charge of what you assume to be true, you hold the key to a whole new level of freedom and happiness. It's like realizing that you're not just swept along by the drama, you're the one shaping it. So, the game plan is to become the captain of your assumptions. Don't let them dictate the narrative. Instead, take the reins and steer your story towards undreamed of freedom and happiness. It's a bit like rewiring your mental script, choosing assumptions that serve your best interests, and watching your life transform accordingly. So instead of running around searching for what you think you lack, take a different approach. It's about owning it, claiming it, and assuming it. It's like saying, hey, this is already mine, I just need to step into it. You're in this vast store of possibilities, and all the goodies are on the shelves, waiting for you. But here's the catch. Unless you claim them as yours, unless you assume the role of the rightful owner, they remain on the shelf, out of reach. It all comes down to your concept of yourself. The key to unlocking everything you desire is in how you see yourself. If there's something you're not claiming as true for yourself, it's like you're closing the door to the realization of it. So the name of the game is to stand tall, claim your worth, and assume that everything you desire is already a part of your story. It's not about wishful thinking. It's about embodying the reality you want to create. It's a powerful shift from seeking to owning. It's about recognizing that you are the author of your story, and the pen is in your hand. Often, we tend to believe that external things, people, situations, circumstances, have some kind of power over us. But it's not about those external things holding power. It's about us transferring our own power to them. Imagine it like you've got this incredible energy source within you, and you're inadvertently plugging it into external things. You're giving away your power, thinking it resides in those circumstances or people. It's like mistaking the flashlight for the power source, when all along, the power is within you. You have to realize that you are the powerhouse. You've got this internal energy, this innate power, and when you recognize it, you stop handing it over to external conditions. It's a shift from thinking, this situation has power over me, to realizing I am the power. It's about reclaiming that energy, owning it, and recognizing that the real power player is you. So the next time you catch yourself thinking external things have control, remember, you're the one with the power. Ready to unleash the powerhouse within? Let's tap into that internal energy and shine. When we talk about manifesting, it's all about bringing something into reality, right? Now check this out. Saying, I will be, is like admitting that you currently lack whatever you're aiming for. It's a subtle way of confessing that you're not there yet. Imagine you're in the process of creating your dream reality. If you're using phrases like, I will be successful or I will be happy, it carries an undertone of absence. It suggests that success or happiness isn't with you right now, but maybe, someday down the road, it will magically appear. Become mindful of your language to shift from a future-focused I will be to a present tense I am. It's about embodying that state of being right now. So instead of saying, I will be successful, declare, I am successful. It's not wishful thinking. It's a powerful affirmation that aligns you with the reality you're creating. Imagine your current self as this cozy, familiar shell. It's got your habits, beliefs, and the whole shebang. Now, to step into your desired self, you've got to be willing to peel away from that comfort zone. It's like shedding old skin to make room for the new. These are the stories you tell yourself, the I am this, or I can't do that narratives. It's like a script you've been acting in for a while, but you're not stuck in that role. You can be the scriptwriter, the director, and the leading star of your own story. Becoming the person you desire means letting go of the constraints that hold you back. It's a willingness to say, you know what, current self? I appreciate you, but I'm ready for an upgrade. It's not just about wishful thinking, it's an active choice to redefine who you are. Our biggest illusion is thinking that external things, events, or circumstances are the cause of our experiences, when in reality, it all boils down to our state of consciousness. Often, we tend to believe that the world around us, the situations we find ourselves in, or even the people we interact with, are the cause of our experiences, the good, the bad, and everything in between. But the real game changer is our state of consciousness. It's like you're wearing these consciousness-tinted glasses. The world might look different depending on the color of those glasses. If your consciousness is filled with positivity and abundance, even challenges might look like opportunities. On the flip side, if your consciousness is clouded with negativity, even the most wonderful situations could seem challenging. So, take a good look at those consciousness glasses we're wearing. Instead of pointing fingers at external causes, it's about recognizing that our state of consciousness shapes our experiences. It's like being the artist, painting the canvas of our reality with the palette of our thoughts and feelings. If you dare to assume that you are what you want to be, brace yourself because you'll have everyone around you playing their part in your story. Imagine it like you're stepping onto a stage and taking on a role. When you assume the identity of the person you want to become, it's not just wishful thinking. It's like a magnetic force that pulls others into the narrative. Dare to see yourself as that successful, confident, or happy individual you aspire to be. When you do this, it's as if you've given everyone else a script, and they naturally fall into their roles, supporting and complementing the story you're telling. Own that desired identity. It's not about waiting for the world to recognize it. It's about boldly assuming the role and watching the world respond in kind. It's like you're the director of your own play, and everyone else becomes part of the ensemble, bringing your vision to life. Compared to this innate power we're born with, no force on earth, no challenge, no obstacle, no adversity is even the tiniest bit significant. It's like having a superpower that trumps everything life throws at you. This infinite power isn't something you need to search for or attain. It's already woven into the fabric of your being from the moment you arrive on this planet. It's a call to recognize the sheer magnitude of your internal strength. It's acknowledging that no matter what comes your way, you have this limitless force within you. Challenges might show up, but they're like little pebbles against the backdrop of your infinite power. I invite you to make sure you don't miss out on any of the mind-expanding content we have lined up for you. Subscribe to our channel and hit that bell button. Why? Because your journey to self-discovery, empowerment, and creating your reality is an ongoing adventure, and we want you right there with us every step of the way. And hey, if these insights resonate with you, why not share the love? Spread the wisdom, invite your friends to join the conversation, and let's create a community of like-minded individuals on this incredible journey of growth and transformation. So, my friend, are you ready to tap into that cosmic powerhouse within you? Embrace the truth that you're born with an infinite power that renders earthly forces insignificant.